everyone, welcome to Bops and Blackness. My name is Cheyenne and today is a special video. Today is June 25th, 2022, which is the 13th anniversary of Michael Jackson's passing, and as well as would have been George Michael's 59th birthday. So it's honestly still difficult for me to come to terms with the fact that my first favorite artist's passing date is also my latest favorite artist, George's 59th birthday. The fact that their birthday and death day is the same is kind of like hard for me to think of, because June 25th before this year had always been just like extremely sad and just dark for me. But to think of the fact that George was born on this day is kind of like, it's hard, it's bittersweet. Like, I keep saying bittersweet because that's really what it feels like. It's bitter because, you know, Michael left the earth this day, but it's sweet because George was born this day. So it's kind of like, you know, it's a toss-up, but it's they're both not here anymore, which definitely, that stings. But I just definitely wanted to share my love for the two of them, because honestly, as I get into more and more artists, the ranking changes because I'm realizing the significance, my personal significance for them. Michael Jackson was the very first artist I fell in love with, and it's just amazing to think about. I think I was 11 or 10 when I really got into Michael. Might have even been 12, but it all started with the Michael Jackson The Experience Wii game, which is so funny when you think about it, because like there were so many other opportunities, but it didn't really strike me until we got that game for Christmas in, I believe, 2010 it was. My older sister asked for the game and I was like, oh, that's cool, because we kind of all just asked for a Wii game of whatever interests us that year. So we got Michael Jackson The Experience, and as we continued playing, it didn't take long for the bug to bite me. But like I started hearing songs I'd never heard before, and I was like, huh, like I thought I had pretty decent gist of Michael by that point. But when we got that game, I just was like, okay, I'm gonna start getting into him. Like, it wasn't really a conscious choice, but I was kind of just like, I was interested, and something about him stood out to me. From that point forward, I spent a lot of my time diving into Michael and studying him, watching interviews, and like everything about the way I approach my artist now started with him. And I attribute my relationship and my love and my appreciation for music to Michael. It started with him, and I continue to stress that, because when you think about it, that's amazing. And Michael's influence is just so important and so significant, and it just makes me so excited. Like, you guys can probably like tell by my energy, like Michael just means everything to me, and I will always feel the need to thank him, because without Michael, I would not have gotten into any other artist I've gotten into. For the longest time, every artist that I loved and that I added to my list of favorites was in direct association to Michael. Like, it was like, as I went down the line, it kind of just, they were all associated with him in some way, shape, or form, which just speaks to how influential and amazing and beautiful of an artist he was. He was just such a good man, a good person. Like, you can tell, and I'm someone, I believe that I can tell how people are and the way their hearts are, even if I've never met them in person. Like, I just feel like the beauty of his heart just shone through so clearly through his interviews, and even through the way he wrote, and just, he was just a good person. And he dealt with a whole lot of media scrutiny, a whole lot of hate, and I don't want to focus on that, but I do want to stress that Michael dealt with a lot for artists today to not have to deal with that. If you pick up on what I'm saying, like, without Michael, a lot of things, like, I feel like I'm sorry if I'm like all over the place. It's just stream of consciousness. I didn't really prepare much for this video because I wanted to be authentic and genuine and raw, but everything Michael went through, I feel like he was like an example, not in a negative way, but I feel like media scrutiny and tabloids and things like that will never be at the height they were during that time. I think I don't know, I always feel bad because I'm like, we will never get another Michael because we didn't know how to handle him. Like, he wasn't treated with the love and respect that he should have been treated with. So I don't think we'll ever be gifted with another artist of his magnitude for that reason, among many other reasons. But I just feel like he wasn't treated the way he should have been treated. He gave his entire life to music. He was a baby. Like, he started as a baby. Like, there was no opportunity for him to actually make that conscious choice to be like, yes, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I get super passionate about Michael because he was just a genius. He gave everything he had until his last day, literally. I just love Michael so much, and he's just, there's so much I can say about him. If you follow me on Instagram, like, you probably have noticed that I haven't done a dedicated post to Michael yet, and that's because there's so much to say, like, so much to say. Like, it's hard to even put into words why he's so important to me and why I love him so much, because he started it all for me. And it's like, it's amazing, honestly. Like, I keep saying amazing because that's just, it amazes me how much of an influence he had for me personally. Like, everything I love about music came from my love for him. He's just Michael, man. Like, I just wish I could tell him. I wish I could just say, Michael, like, you don't understand the importance you have in my life personally. Like, I hope he's somewhere, like, I hope somewhere that he knows, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's difficult when your favorite artist isn't here anymore, and there's no chance of you ever having the opportunity of telling them how much you love them. But that's the reason why I created this channel, and that's the reason why I created my social media and created Bops and Blackness as a whole. I just need a platform and really desire the opportunity, whether someone's listening or not, to let people know, or just for my own personal expression, to let it be known how much I love these artists, because it's just important, because Michael didn't receive enough love while he was here. So I just feel it's my duty to make it known in the best way that I can. So that's why I love Michael. I'm gonna continue to talk about him throughout this video, but I just wanted to shed light on him because he just deserves it all. And getting into George is my latest artist, my latest fave, I call him. The thing about George is that I got into him on December 25th, Christmas of last year, which also happened to be the anniversary of his passing, it wasn't intentional, but, you know, I'd been listening to Careless Whisper a lot, and I was like, that was one of the songs that I heard a lot growing up. So George was already in my, like, peripheral vision in a way. He just, you know, when I was ready, that was when I was gonna get into him, I guess. But on December 25th of last year, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to listen to George, like, more in depth, because I was stuck on Careless Whisper for like 3 months, which is crazy. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start listening to his music now. I actually tweeted about it. You know what's crazy is that my whole journey with George is kind of documented on Twitter, which is really cool to look back on, actually. So I tweeted on December 25th, I said, I think I'm gonna start listening to George Michael's music, or something to that effect. And I started, and I listened to Faith on Christmas of last year, and the rest is history. I was taken aback. I was shook. I was like, oh wow, like, it's crazy when you go from knowing one song to, like, knowing someone's entire discography within, like, a few months. But George he was just so incredible, such a beautiful artist. We're never gonna get artists of this magnitude again. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a very, very special time, very special period. I don't want to have a negative outlook on the future of music, but I just know the level of effort has changed. But I'm not gonna get on too much of a rant about that. That's another video. But George really just, he didn't take me by surprise, but I just wasn't expecting for him to have such a major significant place in my life at this point. I just love everything about him. He was so gracious and such a beautiful individual. It's hard to put into words how much he means to me, honestly, because I just get a lot of comfort by even just watching his interviews and just listening to him and just studying him. He was just a good guy. A couple of days ago, I actually went to go see Freedom Uncut in the theater. I went with my sister. She came along with me, which was nice. And I had seen Freedom a couple times already, so it was nice to see it on the big screen and to be amongst other fans. And honestly, it was just a very, like I said this on Twitter and Instagram, it was a very validating experience, because for someone like me, I'm only 23 years old, so I wasn't conscious, I guess you could say. I wasn't here on this earth for the majority of George's career. Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, I wasn't here for the majority of George's career, and the same could be said for Michael, obviously. So getting to experience George in that way was amazing, because it almost, like, obviously he was real, but like, it does something for my subconscious to be like, okay, so this person was real. Like, I know it sounds crazy. I know my fellow old souls can relate, but when you get to experience something that validates you in that way, it's very nice. Like, I was like, okay, there's other fans here. I'm amongst the fans. Like, it felt like I was in some like special club or something, if that makes sense. Like, I got to be a part of the experience, because I wasn't here, you know, I wasn't privy to the Wham days and the Faith days, Listen Without Prejudice. Like, the first album I was on this earth for of George's was Songs from the Last Century, which was in December of 1999. I was born in May, so I don't remember it, but you know, I was here for that. So, and there's been so much that already happened by that point. I'm glad I could at least claim that, though. But George was just a beautiful person, and Michael was as well. Like, they just possess such grace, and they handled what they went through with the best of their ability, honestly. Like, it's honestly not normal to have that level of fame and scrutiny and, you know, all the negative things that come with fame. They both handle it very differently. George kind of retreated. He kind of became a recluse in a way, and Michael did as well. The difference between the two of them is that Michael was so huge that his level of normalcy was completely taken away from him. He wasn't even, in his own way, he was able to mimic it and like experience it. But George, he had the opportunity to seek privacy in a way that Michael could not. So that's the difference between the two of them. And I actually, you know, I find really interesting about the two of them is that on both of their final studio albums, Michael and George, Michael's being Invincible, released in 2001, and George's being Patience, which was released in 2004. The final song on both of those albums are interesting, to say the least. Michael with Threatened, this is such a cool like realization that I came to. Threatened for Michael is kind of like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere, like, and there's nothing you can say or do that will make me go away. Like, I love the statement of it. And he's like, I'll post some of the lyrics right here so you guys can see if you're not familiar with the song. was talking his stuff. He was talking his stuff. And it's just like, it's just amazing, his confidence. His confidence really came through on Invincible. And I just love that, because it's such a statement for that to be the last track of his career as far as studio albums are concerned. It was just amazing. And with George, he kind of went the opposite route. He was kind of like, y'all have done enough to me, and I'm about to walk away from this. Which is interesting. It's such a contrast. It's such a contrast. And like, even like, I might be thinking too deep, but like, through and threatened, like, they're similar words, very different approaches to fame and scrutiny. George was like, okay, F this. I'm done with this. And Michael's like running towards it. Very different approaches. And I find that extremely fascinating, because they both had different reactions to what they dealt with, which what they dealt with was very similar. They were two of pop's hottest, most sought after artists in the 80s. It's just like, I just love the two of them. And I feel like my love for the two of them will only grow as I come to the realization that they will never be artists to their magnitude and to their level of passion again. They both started out with groups. You know, we know Michael started with the Jackson 5 and the Jacksons, and he eventually transitioned into his officially into his solo career as an adult, his early 20s. And then George, I'm getting their names mixed up. George started with Wham in 1983, and he came into his full solo career in 87. So, and I think it's cool that, Bad and Faith were released the same year, and they both exploded. George and Michael were in the same category for awards and things, and I just think that's so cool, because like, they're untouchable. They were untouchable, and they were so amazing. And I wish we got one picture of them together that like would have really satisfied me, because it's just, the two of them together is just everything. But I love them because they were just really good people. Really good people who happen to be gifted in the area of music, and that's my favorite type of artist. I have my Michael t-shirt on. I got my cross earring. I just wanted to show a little bit of love to my faves. They're just beautiful. Beautiful. That's the best way to describe it. I hope this video was enjoyable for you. I was really just talking off the top of my head. I hope you guys don't mind that. I think that's gonna be my approach for most videos, because I just like to talk and express myself, and I hope it wasn't too scatterbrained for you guys. But I'm just here to talk my stuff and to express myself and talk about my favorite artists. Expect more videos coming soon. When the older reissue is coming my way, when it gets to my house, I will be doing an unboxing, so keep an eye out for that. And I'm going to have many more videos coming, just whenever I feel like it. I'm not really gonna do a schedule or anything. This is very carefree, and I just want it to be fun and genuine and just have a good time with you guys. So if you guys have anything you want me to talk about more or discuss, you can tweet me, message me on Instagram or Twitter at bobsandblackness, and you guys will be hearing from me soon. And thank you for watching. Peace out. Bye, guys.
I don't know anyone who can live without music. You get out of bed and a piece of music can make a difference to the way you start the day. That's what music is about. Music is completely about your emotions. You take music and use it to amplify what you want to feel. Of course it changes people's lives. It will always change people's lives. It's there. I'm just very glad that it's changed my life to the degree that it has, that it's become the centre of my life. I feel very lucky that that's the case.
Love. You feel lots of love, and I feel blessed and honored to be able to be an instrument of nature that was chosen to give them that, would I give them, I'm very honored and happy about that.